Thank you, Mr Hood, for allowing me the opportunity to call this important debate on the future of Frenchay Hospital. As the MP for Kingswood, a constituency which is currently served by Frenchay Hospital's acute hospital facilities, the downgrading of Frenchay Hospital is perhaps one of the most important issues my constituents are concerned with. The decision to downgrade Frenchay Hospital and instead establish a new super hospital at Southmead in Bristol was taken as part of the Bristol Health Services plan back in March 2005. Instead, Frenchay is to become a community hospital, the development of which will take place around 2014. 5 years may seem a long time ago. However, over those past 5 years, the future of Frenchay Hospital has remained an ongoing point of concern and debate. The decision to downgrade Frenchay has been a deeply unpopular one, which has been challenged by both South Gloucestershire Council and tens of thousands of local residents, nearly 50,000 of whom petitioned the then Secretary of State, Patricia Hewitt, to allow for the decision to downgrade Frenchay to be referred to an independent reconfiguration panel. For myself, that is 50,000 reasons why Frenchay should be saved, yet this petition was rejected, as was a request by South Gloucestershire Council Health Scrutiny Subcommittee that the matter be referred to the same panel. Instead, the then Health Minister, Lord Warner, said he saw no reason to ask the Bristol Health Services plan to reconsider. There is no need to refer the decision to the independent reconfiguration panel. At the same time, the now current Health Secretary also supported the move for a referral to the independent reconfiguration panel. I understand that in a letter dated 27th of July 2005, a copy of which I have here, he wrote to Ms Hewitt stating that plans to change radically hospital provision on the scale proposed in Bristol and South Gloucestershire clearly need to have the confidence and support of the community served by these hospitals. It seems clear that currently the proposal to downgrade Frenchay does not have the support of tens of thousands of local people. He then went on to state that my reasons for supporting the referral is that I believe the people of South Gloucestershire have the right to expect the decision to deprive them of Frenchay Hospital, as they know it, to be independently scrutinised. I agree with the content of the Secretary of State's letter. He is right. The decision to downgrade Frenchay Hospital should have indeed been independently scrutinised, and it is clear that the decision did not, and still does not, have the support of the local community throughout South Gloucestershire. Back in October 2007, there was further hope that then Secretary of Health, Alan Johnson, might reconsider the case for a decision to downgrade be referred to the independent reconfiguration panel. However, he simply replied to the request by South Gloucestershire Council Health Select Committee by stating that the previous Secretary of State, Patricia Hewitt, dealt with the referral on this issue. It is not intended to revisit that decision. As the leader of South Gloucestershire Council, John Carway, commented at the time, this decision will come as a body blow to everyone who is continuing to desperately search for a lifeline for Frenchay. I believe the anger at this decision has been compounded by the fact that the government has consistently refused local people's wish for an independent inquiry into this decision. As Councillor Carway stated then, and it is a view I continue to share now, while we are denied an independent inquiry, we will never know whether the decision to downgrade Frenchay was made in the best interests of our residents. Sadly for us in South Gloucestershire, the government has made it very clear that this is supporting the downgrading of Frenchay and has no intention of intervening even to allow this to be questioned or scrutinised. That was then. Ultimately, the decision of the previous government not to refer the decision to downgrade Frenchay Hospital to an independent reconfiguration panel has resulted in the current situation we now find ourselves in today. 5 years after the original proposals for the Bristol Health Services plan were formulated, I am now given to understand that the contracts for the new super hospital at Southmead were finally signed in February 2010. The result of this, I'm informed, has ultimately dealt a death blow to any chance of Frenchay Hospital retaining its acute hospital facilities. I'm also informed that, with the contracts having been signed under the previous government, that to reverse this decision seems to be impossible and would be at massive cost to the NHS and the government, with the legal implications that this would involve. I would be grateful for the Minister for any comments that he would have on this matter, whether this is indeed the case, and whether after the previous government's refusal to allow the local people the opportunity to have their say over whether the local hospital and acute facilities should be located, it is too late to intervene. I also understand that on 20th of May 2010, the NHS Chief Executive wrote to all NHS Chief Executives, advising them that their current and proposed reconfigurations must meet 4 criteria: that they have the support from GP commissioners, have strengthened arrangements to ensure that the views of local people are not ignored, are supported by clear clinical evidence, and support and develop patient choice. I would be very interested to hear from the Minister if there has been any response to this letter from North Bristol NHS Trust, as many local people would disagree that these 4 criteria have been met. I wish this were not the case, but if it is, will he agree with me that the downgrading of Frenchay Hospital was Labour's downgrading? And if Frenchay must lose its acute facilities in 2014, This was never the decision of this current government, but of the previous one, that the downgrading of Frenchay Hospital, if it is to take place, is testament to Labour's record on the NHS in the local area of Kingswood and South Gloucestershire. It is, in my own mind, both a tragedy and a national disgrace. For my constituents of Kingswood, the decision to downgrade Frenchay Hospital under the previous government will be nothing short of disastrous. In this, the second decade of the 21st century, local services should be becoming more convenient, more local, not less so. My constituents are extremely worried about the consequence of the move to Southmead. How, in times of greatest need, they will be able to reach a hospital over the other side of Bristol at times when perhaps their life might depend upon it. If Frenchay Hospital is to become a community hospital under the previous government's downgrading, we do need to look forward to ensure that the maximum possible facilities remain at Frenchay. I do not propose to go into detail about the reconfiguration of Frenchay Hospital, as I understand that the Frenchay Project Board has yet to finalise details of its scheme. There is, however, concern over exactly what will remain at Frenchay when it becomes a community hospital. There has been voiced concern over the future of the world-class facilities at Frenchay, for instance, the Head Injury Therapy Unit, which deals with brain injury rehabilitation services for the community, the Headway organisation, which is based on the grounds of the hospital, which offers vital support to those who have suffered a brain injury and who would like to remain at Frenchay, and yet have stated last year that we have been unable to get any answers yet to our future location. Then there are the excellent paediatric, burns and neurological units, which will possibly move from Frenchay ahead of it becoming a community hospital, though decisions have yet to be finalised. As the local MP for an area which depends heavily on Frenchay, I do not want to see Frenchay Hospital, if it has indeed lost its accident emergency facilities, run down to the ground and stripped of these world-class facilities. In raising these issues today, I would like to see the maximum possible facilities remain at Frenchay Hospital. For what is still an excellent world-class treatment centre, I would like to pay tribute to all the fantastic staff at Frenchay Hospital who have worked so hard to make Frenchay what it is today. It is quite simply too valuable to lose. Thank you.
Minister.